Good morning, LinkedIn friends, Value First Nation. Welcome to another week, another episode of Value First AI Daily, your collaborative AI intelligence report. Here with Mr. Lafakis. How you doing, man?
Doing well, sir. It's another wonderful week. It's been an amazing weekend, and yeah, looking forward to this new month. I think this week in general, I'm very much looking forward to GPT-5 announcement soon, very soon.
Yeah. Uh, Meanwhile, we'll keep it inclusive. Anybody who shows interest in actually taking AI seriously, um, in terms of the big players who certainly should be taking AI seriously, Perplexity informed me that Apple appears to be trying, which is a good sign. And First of all, just the nuance of getting this uh, news story from Perplexity talking about another player trying to do something that uh, several other answer engines or whatever you want to call it right now.
Maximally truth seeking.
Yeah, like, and here's what so obviously Apple quietly building. It's a that is a friendly way to put it. Chat GPT rival with new answers search team. Um, uh, they might be able to get away with this, like get away with their lack of participation so far, development so far, or success so far when it comes to AI, simply because they have the ecosystem foundation to where anything that they come out with, they put on your phone, they put it on your operating system. It will get exposure, it will get usage. Um, so it was only a matter of time, and they say here the initiative, led by former Siri executive Robbie Walker, comes as Apple grapples with mounting criticism over its struggling artificial intelligence efforts. Walker, who previously oversaw Siri and called delays to that project ugly and embarrassing, now heads the new team, exploring both back-end infrastructure for existing Apple services and the possibility of a standalone search app. Wow. Reaching the big time here.
I mean, honestly, like, just I don't know what it is with them. I really don't. Right? Like at this point, they are as like valid to me as HBO. Right? Like HBO Max, HBO Max. Now it's just Max. Now we're HBO again. Now we're back to being HBO Max, right? Apple's been like, hey, Apple Intelligence, we're going to redefine AI. Like, first of all, nobody was buying that bullshit, right? Like, please try to literally steal an acronym that has meant something forever and then make it your own and try to pretend like, oh, no, it's us now. We own it, right? Nothing there. They weren't even like ready to come out with anything at all. They had to fold GPT into Siri, which, so much the better. Like, obviously, if there's something better and you don't have it already, why are you going to burn money in that direction to try to build something that's not going to work? So for them to say that like what they have is, let's say, better in some way, right? I think a lot of people need to take into account that like GPT and Claude and these other models, again, they're the what do you call it? They're the Swiss Army knives of language models, right? They are meant to try to do everything as best that they can. They are not necessarily they are the jack of all trades. They might be a PhD level jack of all trades, but that's still like not really as helpful as like a specialized PhD in a specialized thing. In other words, like a narrowly trained small language model on, just specific, let's say this is how they get those kind of numbers, just on like diagnoses, and then even a more specific area of diagnoses, that small language model will outperform every other large language model all day long because it's so just good at that. It doesn't take other things into consideration, right? Which, and when I say other things, I mean like non-medical things. It doesn't try to assess something based on like autos, even though it's supposed to be thinking about medical. So it is possible. It's possible to put something together, right? That basically is akin to like DeepSeek, where it's a distillation of a model that's then like tuned and like, formed into something that will be like very specific or whatever. But to sit there and say like, oh, it's going to compete against ChatGPT, like
Yeah.
that's where you're going off the rails, man. Like it's not
Yeah.
that's not something that you do.
And I'm I'm glad we're diving in here, and I'm taking Perplexity's lead on like what the important pieces of this are, right? So I'm just gonna read the context of AI struggles here. The new search team emerges against a backdrop of significant setbacks in Apple's broader AI initiatives, particularly with Siri's long promised intelligence upgrades. Originally slated for fall 2024, last year, the enhanced Siri has been repeatedly delayed due to engineering challenges. With the current internal target now set for iOS 26.4 in spring of 26 next year, almost a 2-year delay, which is
Mhm.
like
Unheard of.
eons in the
Yeah.
world of AI.
Yeah.
Uh, Apple's head of AI, John G, has reportedly been sidelined from Siri and other consumer facing projects following an internal friction over missed deadlines. Uh, The struggles have created what Apple senior director Robbie Walker described as an ugly situation, with Siri's new features working only 60 to 80% of the time, despite being heavily marketed alongside the iPhone 16 launch. Walker acknowledged that employees were feeling angry, disappointed, burned out, and embarrassed following the delays, while industry critics labeled the promised features as vaporware. Uh, One thing I want to highlight there, just like I said at the jump, like because of the ecosystem, because of the audience they have, that means like half the market or however much like iPhone, however much mobile phone market they own,
Mhm.
all of those users were exposed to AI only working 60 to 80% of the time. So when we continue to run into people that think AI doesn't work and it's not ready and all these things, this could have been one or two prompts on Siri and then it not working and be like, "Oh, okay. You know, I'm I'm just going to go back to, the other apps that I know work. I'm going to go back
Right.
to searching Google. I'm not going to cuz then I'm not going to if this is my first entry into an AI experience, I'm not going to try like GPT or Perplexity or these other options, right? And that
Mhm.
is hugely detrimental to the progress in terms of adoption rates of AI as a thing
Of course.
in in the public eye. The second thing, this whole like I can't wait, and this is what we've been talking about in terms of like GPT and Sam just launching whenever it's ready on the weekends, like at the end of the week, right? This whole concept of spring 26, fall 24, like scheduling it based on the next iPhone when that's ready, when the next OS is ready. That's old. Like there's no way that holds up because AI moves faster than your planned product launches.
Yep.
And if you So you will hold back, as we've seen here, you will hold back your AI development for for human based, like structural, nonsensical reasons at the end of the day. And it's just not the way.
It's, I mean, look, is it? I don't want to say that it's not. Uh, well, okay, it's not shocking to me. Apple's been behind the ball for a long time, right? And to me, this is just another sign of like, if you ain't first, you're last. Um, they, I don't know who was like, that's the weird part to me is I don't know why anybody was expecting them, why they sort of put expectations on themselves. I think that, and I understand the company wants to be as vertically integrated as possible, but when you absolutely don't do that thing, right? So, like, Apple hasn't been using its own screens for a long time now. They've been buying them from Samsung for like the last decade. So, even their hardware is not completely vertically integrated anymore on their phone. That being the case, I think that I don't know for sure, but I think even in if Steve had been at the helm, he would have figured out a way, much like the iPhone, to take something that already existed and then change it into something new. Right. So he would have seen, like, okay, yeah, cool. You can do this thing with this language model. Okay, cool. We have this thing, Siri. All right, like what can we do, and make it different? Like maybe it's not even Siri anymore. Maybe it's like completely baked and like whatever baked into the phone. Maybe the Apple phone becomes that first like true assistant phone, right? It's not even a thing of like, I don't know, having to have a Siri button or whatever, but like it's a whole new thing, right? That could have been the case. They could have just put everything on hold and said, "Hey, you know what? They could have." I would have had mad respect if they had just Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that thing, right? Just been like, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna hold on phones for a minute, right?" Like that would the shock that would have sent, right?
Yeah.
To just say like, "We're not putting out a new model phone. Like, we're gonna kind of stop working on that right now. We're actually just gonna destroy all the shit that we were working on and we're going to redo the whole thing from the ground up because now we have this AI thing. And so we're going to re envision what a phone can be using a large language model at its core."
Yeah.
That's what I expected from Apple. I expected them to have the first AI first phone. But
Yeah.
now they got beat on features to the phone, which they have been again for like the last decade. I mean, some of the stuff that they announced for the new 16, as if that was going to sell it anyway. They're features that Android's had for like 4 years or 5 years now, right? Some of the AI features we've had for like 2 years. So it's like it's embarrassing at this point, basically. Like you're advertising like year-old features as being the new features of your phone that is just more expensive. Um, yeah. So like,
Yeah.
if
Well,
you
that's
ain't
the thing.
first,
Like
you
the
last.
business model demands that they come out with a phone every year or whatever the schedule is. Like their sales targets, this is where all the old infrastructure just comes crumbling down if you can't tear yourself away for it and from it. And yeah, I'm listening to Laws of Leadership right now.
Mhm.
And of course, I forget which law it was, but Steve Jobs comes up, like in terms of what he was able to do when he came in the late 90s and was like, nope, scrap all of this stuff except for these things. And then he put up 100% of his energy on the iPod. And then he put 100% of his energy on the iPhone. Like that's where like the people leading these companies matter so much. And like somebody like that is important to make that kind of call that you just described because that's the kind of call they need to make. They're so set in their ways, like printing money every year through the next model of iPhone and the next device. And that's just not going to work moving forward. And um, so important to keep an eye on how legacy companies like handle this stuff because they really need to find a way to move away from the business model. We're seeing Google do it now. Because they're forced to. Google Ads are not going to be like they can't rely on that anymore. Apple's going to need to find a way from being so device, revenue heavy.
Mhm.
Uh, and this is why I'm so interested to see like HubSpot in at Inbound, and why I say like we're going to find out what AI first means for a legacy company in terms of the pivot that they have to make. Uh, but also when I talk to product managers and they've got so HubSpot has this product schedule now, kind of,
Mhm.
but it definitely like product development speeds up as you get to Spring Spotlight and to Inbound, right? Which is April and September. And if they're truly AI first, no matter how big the thing is, after Inbound, I expect a switch to be like, if it's ready around Spring Spotlight, great, we'll make a big deal about it, but we're not going to hold anything up until Spring Spotlight. That's where that's what I've been hearing.
Mhm.
And like that, if you're AI first and the shit's ready to ship, there's no way in hell, based on what I've heard, that somebody is letting marketing say, we need to wait until April, like to announce it, right?
Mhm.
'Cause that's the stuff that's not gonna work anymore. You won't be able to keep up because there are people around, there are competitors that that schedule means nothing to them, and they're gonna ship as soon as it's ready,
Yep.
right?
As soon as it can actually do the thing that it can do, right? Like that's really all it takes is people the solutions that are getting created by most people now. It's like you're just doing what most solutions do. They solve the problem. Now, you don't have to necessarily solve the problem in the nicest way possible. You just have to solve the problem. Once you actually do that, then you can kind of go back and worry about it. I don't know if you guys have noticed this trend. It's been a really ugly transition only because like this capability to code this fast wasn't there first. Um, but it's been this transition of, and it started from gaming. This transition of like, oh, we'll just ship it and then we'll fix it later, right? And with gaming, it really sucked because you would get a game and there's random crashes or texture tears here and there or whatever, lighting issues, whatever it might be. And then all of a sudden there's just patch after patch after patch, just fixing bugs constantly and just basically finishing the game after having released the game because sales and marketing. So now at least it's at the point where, yeah, you can actually ship something out the door and modify it the next hour and make serious modifications to it within 24 hours, even like reshape the entire app within a week. Right. It's completely different now. The game is absolutely different. We were talking about this yesterday that like it costs you like it would blow my mind if it costs you more than $1,000 to build a full out like fully fledged piece of software. Like that's the cost right now. At most, I'm like really like saying $1,000 is like that's I'm really putting too much on it, right? Like it shouldn't cost you any more than like 300 really. Um but that's, like that's why you can't be slow, especially like in the world of SaaS. You cannot be slow. Like the pace is only going to quicken, and that's humans doing it right now. I'm already starting to see it. It's in like pockets here and there, but it's going to become more popular because it's just again, it's the next evolution. Obviously you're kind of working with agents that are writing your code now with, vibe coding and whether it's Replit or Claude Code or whatever. Very soon you're basically going to be working with an agent that is going to be an orchestrator of all of those things. So it's not just that you're going to have to sit there and go back and forth with the coding agent. You're just going to tell the initial one what it is that you want, and it's going to go back and forth with the coding agent until it gets the final product, right? Um, and it's going to be this case where like you're going to have this personalized agent. Dharmesh kind of hinted, like Dharmesh was posting about something similar to this morning, and he was talking about how people are going to go from job to job and have like their team that they take with them, like their team of agents that they go from job to job with. And I can kind of see that. It reminded me of like mechanics and how mechanics have to carry their tool sets and their diagnostic sets and everything with them. Um, I can definitely see that being the case, but I still see the mechanic still being of the most value, like than the set, right? Because in this particular case, it's not somebody else's tools that I carry and that I do things with. It's the tools that I create. So it's not so much that you're like you're not hiring me for my capability of necessarily doing a particular job. You're hiring me for my capability of using my creative mind to solve problems. Like that's the difference now in terms of like, the because what is it that like we do information based work, right? Like we do problem solving based solutioning. So in many cases, it's really, I don't know why anybody wants to solve the problem of like, hey, how do I keep doing the same shit that I've been doing forever and ever and ever? Like, no, I would love to solve the problem of like, hey, how do I never have to do this shit again? Like, so that I can move on to the next thing, right? Because there's clearly more important stuff than that, right? Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
Good luck to
this post
Apple.
is great. Like from Dharmesh, I just pulled it up.
Yeah.
Today, it's bring your own device. Um, like using our own laptops and computers and devices to be an awesome employee out the jump, right?
Mhm.
Tomorrow, bring your own agents. More and more people will be building their own agents to increase their personal productivity, and they will take that team with them to their next job. I can also imagine a day where companies will gravitate towards hiring people that have their own team of agents that help them create and deliver more value. Yep. And we've seen it uh, personally. Uh, a friend of ours show up with that exact setup, and the company's like, nah, we're good. Like, no, we just need you to do your normal thing. Like, and it's sad, right?
Mhm.
It's literally like 40 hours a week just thrown out the window.
Yep.
And if you're somebody who's built that, no way you're staying there long term. Like, why would you?
No.
Especially if like you said you were going to be able to use this, like basically Iron Man suit. Like, hey, I got this one. I got this whole like, wardrobe of suits that I can bring with me. And you're not gonna let me put them on. Like, get the hell out of
Right.
here. Like,
Right.
what's wrong with you? Uh like, no, don't hire me. So if that's you, like it changes the whole dynamic of how we resource, companies.
Mhm.
And that's where all these like a company like Apple has to understand that paradigm because it doesn't mean they have to go full hog on software. They could still own the device. There's so many like wearables and devices that are necessary like to take interfacing like with technology to the next level. And like that's the thing that you're good at. Go do that. Like, but that's where they've lost the people. Like, Johnny Ives like going over to GPT, and you know, it's gonna be interesting. this is what we're talking about. Like, you can't sit on your laurels anymore. Like, and it's only a matter of time. Uh,
And there's no reason to either. Like that's
right.
the thing. It's like it's not only that like
There's so
you
much
can't,
opportunity.
right? I don't know. It's just it's easier than ever. I know I keep saying that all the time, but it's only because it's true. Um, you know, it kind of I think I'll see if I can open up another one because it already filled up. Um, I put up a brain date for because they were like 30 minutes or something like that at inbound,
Yeah.
and so I set one up for like build your side hustle in 30 minutes, right? Because it's
Yeah.
totally possible. And yeah, it's already full up, right? So I'll probably throw another one out there, try to help some more people.
Yeah.
But like that's how easy it is. So easy. I can teach you how to at least like get off and running inside of like 30 minutes. Like really do it inside of 10 minutes, but like
Yeah.
um it's
And this
there's
is
just
where,
no time like the present, you know,
right.
that it's never been easier to get involved. And it doesn't like so far as I can tell, you only have like a couple months left anyway to keep hiding from it. For those of you who have been like avoiding it, I'm not going to use it, this, that, and the other, and I'm not going to try to do anything with it. You have like 2 to 3 months left because I'm seeing it everywhere now. In practically every piece of software, there is some type of like AI guided, AI assistant, something, right?
Hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's computers, it's typewriter, it's email. You know what I mean? Like it's just the next thing. So if you honestly don't take the time to learn it, you become one of the people when they say like AI is not going to take your job. A person that knows how to use AI is going to take your job, right? You're the person that lost your job to the person that knows how to use the tool, and it'll only be because you like decided for yourself like nah, it's all right. I don't know why,
Yep.
but like, and what's like the I don't know. I think the part that really like what really like gets me the most every time is like it's fun. Like it's so fun. It's so fun. I've never like done or like messed around with anything. Like even sometimes like as frustrated as I can get, I sit back and I think about what it is I'm getting frustrated at. And I'm getting frustrated about like something that I would have otherwise never even been in existence, right? So that like I calm down and it's like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world because technically this thing shouldn't exist, so it's okay. Like,
Exactly. And that's why we're here every day with the reminders. Um, don't be that person that doesn't use AI and loses your job because of it. There's so
mhm,
much opportunity. And if you're getting frustrated, hopefully we're here to remind you that it's a new world and there's lots of ways to get frustrated, but um, the way that we can enjoy ourselves while learning through this moment, it's really not that hard to take a step back and understand this perspective and just find ways to enjoy yourself. So until tomorrow, happy
yeah.
Monday, everybody. We'll see you Tuesday morning. Thanks, Nico.
See you guys.